or hexlings if you're from my Discord. I'm Imogen and welcome to part 6 in the series. If you haven't seen my unboxing, building, kit bashing, or the 2 painting videos, I'll leave links in the description below so you can go and catch up. I condensed nearly 15 hours of footage into just 3 short videos, hoping that it would make it easier to watch. This is the third of those videos, and if I skipped anything that you're curious about, please let me know. I'm always happy to share more. What we're working on in this video. So, one last time into the fray. We're wrapping up my Battle Sister for TravelLingMANUK UK's Suns Out Guns Out Warhammer Painting Challenge, which ends July 31st, 2025, link below. This is my 18th ever model, if you didn't know by now, and I'm painting under the challenge rules of only 4 paints provided, plus my own black and white. So a quick note before we get started. This video isn't a sponsor. It is, however, going to feature Krautcover products that I bought for myself from PK Pro and I am now since affiliated with. Unfortunately, their liquids can't be shipped worldwide, only to UK and Europe, but PK Pro stock loads of great products, including a tail Grimdark basing material from Krautcover, and, spoilers, some of those bits I've used in this video here. PK Pro stock many other companies and suppliers too, and I'd also love it if you check them out. I've left my affiliate link with a 5% code discount, which is my handle, awitchesminis. I do earn a small commission if you shop via my link at no extra cost to you, so thank you so much if you do. Getting started. Now, with that self-appointed plug out of the way, we're going to head straight towards the finishing line. It's finally time to get her mounted, based and secured, including sand from the challenge box, a few macabre extras because it wouldn't be my work without them, and some final details. Not forgetting to introduce you to her 3 magical little friends who have guided her on her journey. But again, spoilers. So I started by applying Kraut-tac from Krautcover Scenics with a synthetic brush all over the base. It's a very sticky product that stays tacky even after drying. It is designed as a glue for your basing, however you will have to set this so that it's no longer tacky after it dries. I use it to hold parts in place temporarily while I build primal paint. It's reusable and really handy for holding fiddly little bits in place without permanent adhesion. More secure than Blu Tack and doesn't require drilling and or pinning anything in place. Honestly, I'll do a separate video on just the Kraut-tac. So if you're curious, make sure that you've subscribed and hit the bell so you get notified when that video goes out. Once you've got the sand or your basing medium in place, you'll want to seal the whole base so it's not sticky anymore. You can use watered down PVA, white glue, school glue, wood glue, etc., varnish, or Kraut-fixer, which is what I used here. Note, Kraut-fixer isn't just for sealing Kraut-tac, it's also great for securing larger items like rocks, bones, and wood chips to your base. It's an alcohol-based polymer, which takes several hours to fully set up. I recommend leaving it overnight, if not longer. If, however, you don't have access to Krautcover liquid products, you can absolutely use classic PVA to do your basing. This works absolutely fine, and of course, you wouldn't have to seal it. Though it does dry glossy in my experience, so you would have to go in with like a matte varnish, like say AK Ultra's Ultra Matte, just to mattify that so you don't end up with like shiny sand. I also plan to be doing a future video comparing PVA glue to Krautcover products, but in the meantime, definitely check out Chicken's Tabletop Crafting on YouTube. His Krautcover tutorials are absolutely brilliant. Disaster struck. So, back to my model. I decided to drill a hole in the base for the umbrella pole to sit in, since the umbrella itself was top heavy. It really wasn't gluing very well to the base, and so I thought this might be a good opportunity to sort of pin without actually pinning. But yeah, I managed to take 3 nasty chunks out of my thumb while trying to swap the drill bit for a bigger size. Ouch. So I guess the pro tip here is use pliers. I ended up using UV resin as a glue to hold the umbrella in place, both on top of the sand and the bottom side of the base. I cured this with my nail lamp, the same one I mentioned in my kit bashing video. Hindsight, I should probably have added the umbrella before I added the sand, like I did with my sister. But I actually forgot to hit record. Basically, I was just incredibly tired, and I wanted to get this basing done so that I could apply the Kraut-fixer and then head to bed. I flooded the base with the Kraut-fixer, which is alcohol-based, and of course I got it in my, ouch. And I just generally hope for the best. And luckily for me, it worked out. That said, if it hadn't and it was all still sticky, I would have just gone ahead and used watered down PVA once dried with the AK Ultra Matte, which by the way is the best matte varnish out there, and I've tested a lot. So, next day, so pleased to find that it was all solid. I was incredibly happy with how it was coming along. So I dug down into one of my Tale of Grimdark Krautcover tubs.
Yes, she's on about Krautcover and PK Pro again.
And I uncovered some little human bones and skulls. If you don't know, Krautcover do a basing material called A Tale of Grimdark, actually in collaboration with Tale of Grimdark. And as you'd expect, it includes dirt and grime and grit and bits, but it also includes bits of 3D printed little human bones and skulls. So I decided that I was going to skip on the skulls and just go for the bones. And off camera, I cleaned them with a wet wipe to remove dust and then get them back to the bone colour, but I did end up painting over them with white and a tiny bit of orange and black. Of course, I used UV resin and my nail lamp as a glue for these, and later went over the shiny resin again with the AK Interactive Ultra Matte Varnish. Remember, you can use a UV torch. A UV nail lamp just seems to work fast and well, but be sure whatever light that you use, it is compatible. Most modern UV resins require proper LED, not just UV to cure, so make sure that you get a UV LED bulb. I use Let's Resin, the one recommended by the amazing jewellery artist Daniel Cooper, and available on Amazon UK. I will link that and the nail lamp that I have below. It's time to introduce you to her 3 magical little friends. So I used 3 little butterflies, one perched on her power pack, one perched on the umbrella, and the last one sitting on top of a small pile of bones. And yes, these butterflies are bigger than her head. But in her story, she's beachcombing, looking for a portal back to her own world, because nothing in this one is quite as it should be. But I won't spoil her story or her lore. I will let you explore that for yourself in the next video. And the final video, I should add, to this series, which is her lore, about her revealing my final model, my thoughts and feelings on how the whole thing turned out, the journey, all of it. Make sure that you're subscribed and you've hit the bell so you don't miss when that video goes up next week. I enjoyed painting the butterflies, but it was a challenge. And looking at my colour options, I knew I didn't want to do green butterflies. I thought ethereal white or silver would be incredibly stunning or look completely unfinished, like I got to the end and just couldn't be bothered or ran out of time. So instead, I decided to try another wet blend of orange and pink. Making all 3 butterflies the same species of butterfly while having variations. Oof, the workhorse brush helped so much in doing this. I'm not sponsored, but maybe I should be. So I'm at a pivoting point with my video. I feel like I want to keep in the painting of the butterflies, however, it's kind of hard to see because I'm a little bit all over the place with my model. So what I decided to do was I'd leave it in, speed it up a little bit, and tell you about the time hops. So if you wish to skip the butterfly painting, I will put a thing in the description and also it should pop up on the YouTube video itself. Otherwise, I'll add some music to this. I can only apologise, and in future, I'll try and be more mindful about my placement of my model. So the butterflies look lost due to the same similar colour palette as the main paints, for obvious reasons, or should I say, for obvious reasons. So I outlined them using black, and this just didn't stand out. Then I tried outlining them in silver, which improved things. And then I added a bit more silver on the side where the light hit, and this improved things a little bit. And then I went in with white over the top in places, and perfect, they stand out so beautifully and yet still so subtle, not taken away from the original diorama model, while dancing magically and hopefully guiding your eye around the scene. Just like they guided Sister Sunburn to navigate her way through the beach wastelands. It was at this point I realised that you can actually see the back of the gun when it's adhered to her, and not only that, but it's directly in the sunlight. So I had to go in with some extra silver and white to highlight the gun. I also added a few key details here and there, like extra highlights on her power pack, which of course it is in metal, and also on her legs. Adding these white spots just absolutely emphasised that this is a shiny metal. I also added a lot of water to the black to create a very, very thin paint to be able to glaze on to create some little shadows where the butterflies were. I also used this to mucky up the sand a little so it wasn't pristine perfect. And I also went back in and repainted some of the spokes silver and then went over with black to add extra distress. I don't want to spoil too much for the final video, but I am incredibly pleased with how this has all come together. I was a little bit worried that these butterflies might take away or seem distracting, and I just went with it, and I'm really, really glad that I did. And that's her, Sister Sunburn. Sun's out, guns out. And as said, there's just one more video to go. I'll tell you her story and my thoughts on this whole journey. So I'm not going to tell you that you've got to subscribe and hit the bell because I think by now you'll have already done that. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, please like and comment. Maybe tell me what colour you would have painted the butterflies, or if you'd have even done butterflies at all. I always love making friends, so come hang out with me on Discord, where my hexlings and I talk life, hobbies, painting, games, and share our own projects, links, and much more. I'll link to that and everything else in the description below, including my Instagram at awitchesminis. And thank you again for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the final one.